Bike, Shunsoft. Danganronpa.
Danganronpa.
Alright, now we're going to start the trial. Let's get into it. Just straight up into it. Part 14, class trial. Now then, let's begin with a simple explanation of the class trial. I only equipped one skill, and that was the skill I got from Sonia. Gotta get the coughs out of the way.
During the class trial, you will present your arguments for who the killer is and vote for who done it. If you vote correctly, then only the blackened will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong person, I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and that person will earn the right to leave this island.
They're going to be talking a lot now, so I can put a rest on my throat.
Oh well, who cares about this boring explanation? Let's get on with it!
I don't mind starting the trial, but I don't really have a grasp of how the case played out. You know, because I was asleep the whole time.
Even if you do grasp it, you're just gonna confuse the heck out of us, aren't you?
But Nagito's not alone. I don't really get it either.
You're fine. Your head's empty anyway.
Empty head? Huh. What's wrong with that? Listen up! The emptier your head, the more dreams you can stuff inside it, you know?
That's just ridiculous.
Anyway, we shouldn't proceed with the trial if those two can't participate in the arguments. Since he's the first witness, why don't we ask Hajime to explain the incident and the sequence of events?
Then, let's start with when we split into the hospital team and motel team because of the despair disease. The hospital team consisted of Nagito, Ibuki, and Akane, who were infected, and Mikan, Fuyuhiko, and me.
The other 5 on the motel team were myself, Gundam, Kazuichi, Chiaki, and Hyoko.
Spending the night at the hospital was prohibited, so Hajime and I had to sleep at our cottages.
I woke up at my cottage on the day the incident happened. Mikan came by to wake me up, and told me that Nagito had recovered from his symptoms. We immediately headed over to the hospital, and after we confirmed his recovery, I made Mikan rest in the on-call room, since she hadn't slept all night, while I waited in the hospital lobby. And then, I saw the incoming signal light on the surveillance camera blinking before our scheduled time. When I pressed the button to turn on the monitor, what appeared on screen was...
The hanging.
a video of someone wearing a hospital gown and a hemp bag on their head, climbing a stepladder.
Amazing! That's such a heart-pounding story! And then what did you do, Hajime?
I tried to stop them, of course. I rushed out of the hospital and ran to where the video was being recorded, the music venue. But it was too late. By the time I arrived, the person wearing the hemp bag on their head was already hanging from the ceiling. I thought I should tell the others right away, so I headed to the motel.
Why the motel?
Because it was close to the music venue. And unlike the hospital, there were more able-bodied people there. At least, that's what I thought. But the only person who came with me was Chiaki.
But I remember feeling a little relieved because not long after, we met up with Mikan and Fuyuhiko.
We were also looking for Ibuki since she disappeared from our sight.
After I rested for a bit, I started counting everyone at the hospital. And then I noticed Ibuki was gone, so I sprinted out of the hospital. Coincidentally, I ran into Fuyuhiko, so I pled with him in various ways to see if he could help me out.
Various
Isn't
ways?
it? It's the nurse.
Don't say it like that and confuse people.
What? Yep.
After I heard from those two that Ibuki disappeared, I had a feeling she was the person wearing the hemp bag.
Yep.
So I immediately led them to the music venue.
But the door wouldn't open. Since we had no other option, the four of us broke down the door. And when that happened, we didn't just find Ibuki's body. We also found Hyoko's. And not just that. Her body was taped to a pillar.
That's when we heard the body discovery announcement. Not once, but twice in a row.
And so we decided to lower the hanged body, didn't we?
When we removed the hemp bag, just as we feared, it was Ibuki.
So that's how the case played out. Thank you. I understood it very easily.
Well, it's clear what the problem with this case is. When Hajime left the music venue, who...
Wait, how do I know anything Hajime just said is true?
What? I know I'm not lying.
Sorry, I'm only being impartial right now. And the story I just heard is clearly suspicious. Hajime, if you're the only one who saw the hanging video, and the first one to discover Ibuki's body, then you could be lying as much as you want right now, right?
Lie? Why would I lie?
Obviously. So you could make us ignore what might be an
needs so much out.
inconvenient truth for you.
Do you doubt me?
If you're not lying, I would like you to prove it. Come on, try to prove it to me. Prove you're not the killer.
Bastard. Nagita's the kind of guy who'll just confuse us and make matters worse. I should have explained it to Nagita. I'm in trouble now thanks to that. Make your arguments. Motel room key. Wait, that might be it. I never watched the movie.
Hajime's testimony is clearly suspicious.
If Hajime's testimony is a lie, then the fact that Ibuki hung herself...
That would also be a lie.
I don't think I can deny. After all, Hajime's the only witness.
Why would Hajime lie?
Well, obviously, because
Did Hajime kill...
the fact that the bodies were imitating the movie.
There we go.
No, that's wrong!
I never saw the
I'm
movie.
not the killer! I mean, there's no way I'd be able to imitate that movie.
Of course you're not. I already knew that.
Huh?
Before the incident, Hajime had never watched that movie. His invitation ticket is proof of that. Each person only received one ticket, and they're marked with a stamp that shows the date and time.
Yep.
Isn't that right, Monokuma?
Yes, no mistakes there.
Which means there's no way Hajime, who never saw the movie, could commit murders that imitated it. Or did anyone tell him what happens in the movie? Of course no one did, right?
Hold on a sec. You're the one who brought this up in the first place.
Nagito, what are you doing?
Well, since we're opening with your witness testimony, I thought we should solidify the foundation. It also provides a good warm-up.
What warm-up? This isn't a game, you know.
Don't get mad. I just think warming up is really important. Especially since this isn't a game.
What a waste of time. Well, I knew it would turn out like this anyway.
Now then, since we know Hajime's testimony is reliable, let us move on to the arguments. So this means Ibuki definitely climbed the stepladder all by herself, right?
Yeah, I'm positive.
Then that seals it! Ibuki committed suicide!
If Ibuki committed suicide, then who killed Hiyoko?
A murder coincidentally occurring in the same place as a suicide. Ain't possible, huh?
Like I said before, it's pretty clear what the problem with this case is. The killer murdered Hiyoko while Hajime was gone. So all we gotta do is establish who could have possibly done that.
Then let's ask Hajime. How long would you say you were away from the music venue?
I couldn't have been gone for more than 10 minutes.
So they killed Hiyoko and taped her up within 10 minutes? There's no way that's possible.
That's why the killer stalled for time by making the music venue a closed room.
What do you mean, a closed room?
Yeah, only one way in and out, and that door entrance is
The
closed.
killer blocked the venue door from the inside to try and keep us from entering right away.
However, that door is the only entrance to the music venue, right? If they
So it's a
blocked the
closed
door
room
from the
situation.
inside, the killer would not have been able to leave either.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Which means, when we broke down the venue door, the killer was still inside.
They were?
If that's the case, the only suspicious people are those who don't have an alibi for that time. And that's you two! Sonia and Kazuichi!
Oh, them two.
Me too?
What the hell? Why's it gotta be us?
The others all have alibis. Chiaki, Mikan, Hajime, and I all broke down the venue door together. Gundam met up with Hajime at the motel right before that. And if Akane and Nagito were laid up in the hospital, the only person that leaves is one of you.
There's another person who doesn't have an alibi. You know, Mechamaru. Me too!
Hey, why are you talking like... Huh? You're kidding, right? You're not up to something weird, are you?
Please stop making bad jokes.
Anyway, if the killer was hiding inside the venue, we should obviously doubt the people who don't have alibis.
What a wicked way of backing us into a wall. Is this his professional skill?
The killer was inside the music venue. Hiko obviously thinks this, but is that really it?
The killer was still inside the music venue. By locking the door from the inside, they tried to keep us from getting in.
It seems they were trying to stall for time.
How did they lock the door? That door should not have had a lock.
The lock was on the floor in front of the...
Are you talking about the broken drumstick?
You can use that as a bolt to lock. By doing that, the killer who was waited till we gathered together and suddenly appeared.
So they looked like they had just rushed over.
I have seen this in serial crime dramas.
The killer was still inside the music venue. By locking the door from the inside, they tried to keep us from getting in.
It seems they were trying to stall for time.
How did they lock the door? That door should not have had a lock.
The lock was on the floor in front of the door.
Are you talking about the broken drumstick?
You can use that as a bolt to lock the door. By doing that, the killer who was hiding inside waited till we gathered together and suddenly appeared.
So they looked like they had...
I have seen this in serial crime dramas.
The killer
maybe
was
they
still
didn't.
inside the... By locking the door from the inside, they tried to keep us from getting in.
No, they
It
didn't.
seems they were trying.
How did they lock the door? That door should not have...
The lock was on the floor.
Are you talking about the
You can use that as a... By doing that, the killer waited till we
They
get...
didn't
And suddenly...
lock it from the
So they looked
inside.
like they...
I have seen this in serial crime dramas.
The killer was still in... By locking the door from the inside.
Yes.
No, that's wrong.
They locked it from the outside using glue.
Hold on a sec. There's also a possibility that the door was locked from the outside.
From the outside? How?
There was a semi-transparent glob stuck to the venue door. Maybe that's what they used.
Semi-transparent glob. Like rubber, maybe?
I see.
Glue.
That semi-transparent glob. Must have been glue.
Glue?
Yeah, I think so too. It had a firm, gel-like chewiness, and I could smell workshop chemicals the moment I put it in my mouth. Based on all that, I'm certain it was glue.
Definitely glue.
I didn't know glue was edible.
I believe it is not something one typically eats.
That glue was only applied to the areas where both doors touched. By pouring it in the gaps of the closed door, they must have sealed the venue door from the outside.
And thanks to that, a glob of glue was left where the door was stuck. Yep, it fits perfectly.
But if you just stick them together with glue, you'd be able to break down the door easily, you know?
That doesn't really matter. The killer only did that to make us think the door was locked from the inside.
What'd you say?
First of all, didn't that drumstick we found seem really obvious? Almost unnaturally so? It was so obvious that it makes more sense to think the killer placed it as a diversion.
Are you saying the drumstick was a trap the killer set on purpose? Then I totally fell for that fucking trap.
Apologize to Miss Sonia. And me. However, you're not allowed to slice open your stomach this time.
In a quarrel, both sides are to blame. That's why it's better to just have no sides at all.
So, during the 10 minutes Hajime left the venue, the killer murdered Hiyoko and created a closed space?
And they also taped her up after killing her, right?
Even quick work has limits.
Oh, what unimaginable speed for a slowpoke like me.
Must be her.
If they couldn't have done it while Hajime was away from the venue, they must have done it earlier than that.
Earlier?
But when Hajime got to the venue, only Ibuki's body was there, right?
And when you went back with everyone else, Hiyoko's body was there too, right? But it's possible that the body was just revealed at that time, when Hiyoko was actually killed earlier.
Yep, that's right.
Just revealed?
Of course, the body wasn't revealed on its own. The killer did that too. Here, I have proof.
That scrap of paper. Is that what we found in the baton lighting at the music venue?
That's right, but
Yeah?
just what is this scrap?
Yeah,
anyway?
I'll press it. You know. Okay. The scrap that was stuck at the baton lighting in the music venue. Now I should be able to figure out what it is. Oh, not Hangman's Gambit. Usually it wouldn't start with unvow. Wallpaper? Just give it a shot. Alright, it might be wallpaper. Ah, no, I need an L. They used these controls to trick me, didn't they? Make the bad wall. Does it have two P's? No, L's. Yes, okay. Half the battle is trying to sort this fucking mini-game out. I prefer the original Hangman Gambit. Pay, I need an A. Pay. I need another A. E-R? Pay, yeah. Now I need an R. There we go. Wallpaper.
I got it!
That wasn't too bad.
That scrap. Isn't it part of the wallpaper in the storage room?
Yep.
In the music venue storage room, there should have been black wallpaper that's the same color as that scrap. There was also a tear along the edge of the wallpaper, wasn't there?
You're right. If you overlay the scrap that was caught on the lighting with the tear in the wallpaper... See? It fits perfectly.
I see. So the scrap that was caught on the baton lighting was originally part of the wallpaper.
And what's wrong with that? Does it have something to do with Hyoko's body disappearing?
A mere nobody like me isn't important enough to answer that. But if you guys were exceptional enough to identify that scrap of paper, you can figure this out easily.
Scrap of paper stuck to the baton lighting was a part of that wallpaper I found in the storage room. Logic dive. Oh, this skateboarding game again. You know, I think this is the most fun minigame they've come with a new one. Alright. Now I'm pretty decent at these kind of games. Alright, so now we're going to get to a question. Was it brought? No, it was hidden. It was used. It was hidden by that thing. This is kind of easy. I bet the next two cases it won't be that easy. Question 2. Use the wallpaper. Yep. Because what would be the point? What would be the point talking about it? The curtain is probably to do for lighting. Question 3. Maybe they covered the pillar. This might be the one that gets me. And it's not. I got it all. I got them all right. It was hidden in the wallpaper. So they used the wallpaper and hidden it around the body to cover it.
It's all coming together! I got it! Hyoko's body was hidden before we found it.
But it would have taken quite a long time to tape up a hidden body.
No, the body was already taped up and the killer hid it, along with the pillar using the wallpaper.
What? They hid the pillar?
Yeah, by wrapping the wallpaper around the pillar, the killer was able to create a slightly larger pillar. So when I first discovered Ibuki's body, Hyoko's body was already there.
Ah, but it was hidden. Can't believe I didn't notice that from before.
However,
I see.
Because it was concealed within a slightly larger pillar.
They were very
I
similar.
didn't realize that at the time.
Well, that's understandable. I mean, it makes sense that you'd notice Ibuki's body right away.
So they used the baton lighting on the ceiling to hang the wallpaper?
The baton lighting forms a perfect circle around the pillar. So using it to hang the wallpaper totally fits.
Yep.
Then, the reason the wallpaper was covered in so many stickers was to make it look like that pillar.
Indeed.
That's how they hid Hyoko's body, and then peeled off the wallpaper as soon as I left the music venue.
But the killer made a mistake. they accidentally ripped off a piece of the wallpaper. And because of that, a scrap was left on the baton lighting.
The killer must have been in a hurry. Their plan took too long. Hajime could have walked in on them.
But going to the trouble of hiding the body and the pillar is very bold and risky.
But the crime itself would be much easier to pull off since they don't have much to do while Hajime's gone. They just have to peel off that wallpaper and stash it in the storage room. It's not that big of a deal.
Then, when was Hiyoko actually killed?
Good point. And on that note, it's about time we shed some light on those imitation murders.
Indeed.
You mentioned imitation murder more than once. But what is that?
Are you kidding me? You haven't seen my masterpiece? The Wizard of Monami 2.5D?
Hey, don't put my likeness in your movies without my permission.
You're pretty noisy for someone who eats mothballs.
I don't eat mothballs. I just enjoy looking at them. I knew it. There are so many similarities. It must have been intentional.
Ibuki's death by hanging matches the Scarecrow's death from the movie. Not just that, but Hiyoko getting taped up after her death matches the lion's death.
It's as if both crimes were replicas of scenes from the movie, although the mutilated Tin Man was omitted.
But why did the killer go to all this trouble in the first place?
Based on what we know, the reason the killer chose these imitations isn't that difficult to figure out.
The movie should be able to explain how they had to hide the weapon to mix up the killing order, to let their accomplice escape.
I see.
There we go, I got it right.
The reason the killer imitated two of the murders from the movie was so he'd mix up the killing order.
Ah, exactly. That's a good point.
Then, Hiyoko was actually killed before Ibuki?
A valid line of reasoning.
Yeah, it's valid. The condition of Ibuki's body suggests that as well.
What do you mean? If you're going to cry and beg like that, then I guess I'll hear about the condition of Ibuki's body.
I'm not even crying.
Oh.
I'll let you sob as much as you want later. Just hurry up and tell me before I change my
He
mind.
looked pretty angry.
What a jerk!
Oh, I see. You want me to explain it to you, right? Because you don't understand what I'm saying, right?
An even bigger jerk? Impossible!
Look, Ibuki died because she hanged herself, right? That means when she was still alive, her feet were touching the floor.
What's wrong with that?
But it seems Ibuki was still standing when Hiyoko was killed. That would mean Hiyoko was killed before Ibuki.
How light. Your words are so light as the sylph's feather. Your opponent is out of your league. It is too absurd to try to perplex me so inadequately.
Man, he's being annoying again.
First and foremost, you claim Ibuki's feet were touching the floor when Hiyoko was killed. How can a low-class creature with no psychic abilities like you know something like that?
Because she was doing something that's only possible if her feet were on the floor.
It seems you suffer from a pathetic delusion.
You're one to talk.
Blood on the souls. That has to be it.
When Hiyoko died, Ibuki's feet were on the floor.
I am telling you to present your evidence.
Did you see her walking?
If her feet were on the floor, was there any sign she stepped on something?
Yep, blood on the souls.
I agree with that. Just as Sonia said, Ibuki stepped on something. That something was blood. There were faint bloodstains on the soles of her slippers.
That is not Ibuki's blood, right? She suffered no external injuries.
Then it's Hiyoko's blood!
Yep.
Hiyoko's only wound was a fatal slice on her neck. And she died almost instantly, right?
If Ibuki stepped on her blood...
It means Ibuki was still standing when Hiyoko was mortally wounded. Which means Ibuki was still alive at the exact moment Hiyoko was killed.
Don't underestimate the power of the evil eye! Is that it? A shepherd dressed in his Sunday's finest still reeks of lamb, Hajime Hinata.
What's he saying?
Does that mean you have a rebuttal?
Does that mean you have a rebuttal? That's a good line. But, are you sure you're sure? If I show you how serious I am, this world might be destroyed, you know. You're so frightened you can't even make a sound. It seems you've realized our difference in status. However, the time for conviction starts now. You better entertain me to the fullest.
I wonder what made him so, like that. Wait, what am I fighting?
You're saying the blood on Ibuki's feet belonged to... Ha! Impossible! Try to remember the crime scene. There was no blood on the floor. You can't step on blood that was never there. Just a... Did you see a nice nightmare?
Advanced. Hey, I was still
As
able to
long as
advance.
Ibuki's body has no open wounds, there's no doubt that that blood is Hiyoko's.
Hiyoko was taped to the pillar, then it's possible that the pillar still had blood on it. However, you cannot step on the pillar with your... You should feel proud. It's been nearly 3 years since I've had to use 60% of my power.
Retreat.
Damn it!
You're saying the blood on Ibuki's feet belong... Ha! Impossible! Try to remember the crime. There was no blood on the floor.
There we go.
Allow me to cut through those words! That's not it. The reason there was no blood on the floor is because the killer wiped it away afterward.
Don't say such foolish things! You don't have proof of that at all!
Yes, I do. If you look closely, there's a streak on the floor where blood was wiped away.
When the killer tried to hide Hyoko's body, they probably cleaned the blood at the same time, but Ibuki must have already stepped in it, and the killer probably didn't even realize it.
The reason they wiped off the blood on the floor was so we'd mix up the order of the murders, right? Even if they're able to hide Hyoko's body, it'd be bad if her blood was left out in the open.
Plus, Ibuki's body was left out in the open, and it wasn't bleeding from any open wounds at all.
Hyoko's body was probably wrapped in duct tape to stop her bleeding.
Actually, the bleeding will stop once the heart stops beating, so I don't think they had to go that far.
Aside from Mikon, none of us were aware of that fact, so the killer probably did not know it either.
Maybe the heater was running inside the music venue so it would screw with Mikon's autopsy?
That's right! I didn't know the time of death because of the heater!
If the time of death wasn't mentioned in the Monokuma file just to keep concrete evidence from us.
Yup. Since we have all this evidence, there's no one else who wants to object, right? Then it's decided. Hyoko was killed before
We're still going on
Ibuki.
about that.
It appears that it is wiser to retreat for now. Fine then, but regardless of good or evil, there's no deceit in upholding one's convictions.
Can't you just shut up and back off?
Now then, let us resume our debate.
Wait a sec. There's something I want to run by Monokuma first.
Huh? Again? Didn't something like this happen last time, too?
Hey, if the victim actually committed suicide, what are we supposed to do?
Yeah, suicide.
The same as always. You have to vote for who the killer is. Think about it. A suicide means you've killed the most important existence of all, yourself. Unfortunately, that means there's no Blackened to punish, but I guess in a pinch, I can always punish Monami.
Why me?
Nagito? What do you mean? If the victim actually committed suicide?
Well, I mean, I understand Hyoko's death, but I'm wondering if Ibuki was really murdered. For example, it's possible Ibuki killed Hyoko, and then committed suicide due to a guilty conscience, right?
That's totally impossible.
See, this is what I
Then
was
she never would have
thinking.
killed her to begin with.
She was afflicted by the despair disease, remember? That means anything can happen.
But if Ibuki's the killer, she wouldn't have been able to falsify the sequence of the murders, right? After Hajime saw the hanged body,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
sudden
That's what I was
appearance
thinking.
of Hyoko's body soon after means
There was no way she could have revealed the body.
the
She
killer had to be alive at that time.
Then she was alive. When Hajime first discovered Ibuki, she was just pretending to be dead. If she waited
That's a
until Hajime
possibility.
left, that's when she could have made her move and mess with the crime scene.
She hanged herself. Remember? There's no fucking way she could have faked that.
Yeah.
And
How?
if she was going to fake her death, I think she wouldn't have chosen hanging. Her body would have been defenseless in that state. If anyone touched her, that alone would have ruined her plan.
I see. So that means
It wasn't Ibuki.
there's no doubt that someone killed those two. I'm glad. Now I'm free to search for the killer.
What the heck?
There's still one more issue on my mind. If Ibuki didn't commit suicide, then just what was that video Hajime saw?
Yeah. Huh?
According to that video you saw, Ibuki was by herself when she climbed the stepladder, right? Then does that mean someone forced her to do it?
Forced? Perhaps they used hypnotism or something?
She was had the despair
I don't know
gullible,
anything about
but- right?
that.
She had the despair gullible. Maybe someone just tricked her into doing it.
Don't say it all proud.
Putting that aside, it seems obvious that the killer did something. So, maybe we should figure out who was able to do whatever that was.
So, an alibi. Then our plan is to destroy the weakest alibi.
Okay.
Since Hajime has seen the video, it is clear what time the crime took place.
But just to be sure, that surveillance camera doesn't have a record function, right?
It's a cheap-ass surveillance camera, you know? There's no way it'd have some kind of sweet recording feature.
Then, the video Hajime saw was actually live?
What time did Hajime see that video?
I saw it at the hospital, right before Monokuma's morning announcement. And I saw the body at the music venue a little after Monokuma's announcement.
So Ibuki hanged herself right before Monokuma's announcement. And since we established that Hyoko was killed before Ibuki, that means the time that the murders occurred was before and during the announcement.
Then, we just have to find the person who doesn't have an alibi during that time?
Now then, I shall issue my decree. Let Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi commence.
Okay then. Okay, let's listen to them first.
We can exclude the sick people like me and Akane, right?
And what about the others?
Right before the morning announcement, I was totally sleeping in my motel room.
I think everyone at the motel was doing that.
So everyone who stayed at the motel doesn't have an alibi.
What about you guys?
I was where I was supposed to be, my own cottage.
That's not an alibi.
Aside from those afflicted by the disease, if nobody has an alibi, then Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi has failed.
What about Mikken's alibi?
We can exclude the sick.
And what about the...
Right before the... I was totally sleeping.
I think everyone...
So everyone who stayed...
What about you guys?
I was where I was supposed...
That's not...
Aside from those afflicted, if nobody has an alibi,
There we go.
No, that's wrong! Hold on. Not all of us are missing an alibi. In fact, Mikon and I both have alibis.
you two have alibis?
Up until I saw that hanging video, Mikon and I were actually together for a while.
We even woke up together that morning.
Oh.
Hey, what kind of situation is that?
I accidentally fell asleep on top of Hajime.
Oh, Chikai, don't think wrong.
Too much info.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not like that. She just came to tell me Nagato's condition had improved.
And we went to the hospital together afterward, so we were together until right before the announcement.
I get it. You guys have alibis.
If that's the case, the killer must be someone else.
It's better if we think about it like that. The killer decided to falsify the murder sequence to hide the actual time of the crime anyway.
So it's inevitable that an alibi for both before and during the morning announcement would be very important.
It feels like Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi has backed us into a corner instead.
But committing an imitation murder, is that really all it was?
Huh?
Faking the time the crime occurred by falsifying the murder sequence, hiding their alibi in the process? Was that the only reason the killer made both bodies imitate the movie?
Do you think there's another reason?
There was another reason?
I feel really bad for confusing you guys so much, but that's how I feel. I think the killer had a completely different reason for falsifying the murder sequence.
The killer had a different reason. Are we still on the killer's trap? Is that a trap set by one of us? If so, then whose? And what kind of trap is it? Are we halfway? Ah. This one's really going by really quick. We're already halfway. It's because I'm getting them right. This one's much easier than the last one.
Stop it!
Ah, there's some chance time. What's that? Now then, Monomi's appeal time starts now. Appeal time. To reclaim your honor. Good luck. Show those jokes who treat you like a red-headed stepchild who's boss. That's 99% your fault. Your time's already running out, so please make your appeal sample. About 3,000 words or so. No, 30,000. That's too long. It'll just be a boring appeal. Come on, if your appeal is successful, there might be merchandise opportunities heading your way. Then, I'm Asumi, magical girl. Asumi, I'm an idiot. That's just awful. And I thought a certain robot's little sister was supposed to be the best.
What a disappointment!
Yep. I have no clue whatsoever. Yes. Yes. Fuck it. Reopen. Resume.
I'm Monami. Once again, I've been put in such an unreasonable situation.
Okay.
Seriously, he's like the king of unreasonableness. Why did it turn out like this?
You're just so annoying.
We were supposed to have a fun, friendly school trip, but it turned out all bloody instead. No! This definitely cannot be allowed. That's why I want you to remember this. Everyone, do your very best. Don't lose to yourself. And don't forget to save frequently.
Yes, I have been saving. The reason the killer did an imitation murder is the other reason. Wait, is the reason the other than falsifying the murder sequence? Does something like that even exist?
Huh.
It suddenly
got quiet in here. Did I confuse you? If so, I wish I could die from self-loathing.
Man, this again.
If that's the case, it would have been just dandy if they had gone ahead and killed me too. If that happened, the imitation would have been perfect. So why didn't they do that?
Because of the rules.
Well, it's against the rules to kill 3 people in the first place.
That rule is too harsh. I couldn't get killed because of that.
Seriously, just shut up already! Shut up forever!
But I'm thinking about it again, and he's totally right. It feels incomplete.
Because they didn't kill 3 people like the movie did? That's only because of Monokuma's rule.
It's not just that. Come on, try to remember the content of the movie. About the lion that got killed second.
That's the one Hyoko's body was imitating, right?
even though we're calling it an imitation,
Yeah.
the
it was
line
pinned
was
by
actually
arrows.
pinned by arrows, right? But Hiyoko's body was suspended by common household duct tape.
Yeah, that's I thought the same.
Maybe they just used a common substitute because it was too difficult to imitate the arrows.
That's a possibility.
Well, that's probably it, but that attitude is what makes this feel incomplete. If falsifying the murder sequence was the killer's plan from the very beginning, they should have taken steps to properly imitate it.
But if we never realized it was a half-assed imitation, their entire plan would have been completely useless.
What are you trying to say? Are you saying the imitation wasn't planned?
I'm saying, Hiyoko's murder wasn't.
What?
That makes sense. She probably caught him.
I understand that imitation wasn't enough, but aren't you making a bunch of assumptions?
No, I think
It's
that's
not
right.
just the poor imitation. There are also other strange details.
Strange details? Like what?
Like, for example, why did Hiyoko go to the music
Oh, that was
venue?
Sonia's. What Sonia said.
So, you're saying the truth behind Hiyoko's murder is hidden?
I have no freaking clue what you're trying to say.
However, this is getting quite interesting. My 4 dark devas of destruction are getting riled up.
Why Hiyoko went to the music venue, if that's the key to all this. No matter the cost. Blood on the soles.
Why did Hyoko go to the music venue? There's no way we'd know that!
Maybe the killer summoned her.
If that's not it, maybe she got abducted by the killer.
No, maybe. She went of her own free will.
Or she was guided by the will of causality.
Why did
Wizard, AC
Hyoko
temperature, surveillance camera units, music
go to the music
thing
venue?
curtain.
There's no way we'd know that!
Where's the mirror? Blood on the soles.
Maybe the killer summoned her.
If that's not it, maybe she got abducted by the killer.
No, maybe she went of her own free will.
Or
Going through my screen.
she was guided by the will of causality.
This is
Why
surveillance
did
camera.
Hyoko go to the music venue? There's no way we'd know that!
Maybe the killer
She had a
summoned her.
key, so maybe
If
yeah.
that's not, maybe she got a
No, she went of her own free will.
I agree with that.
Because of the key.
It's just as Sonia said.
She went to the music
She went to the
venue.
music venue of her own free will.
Because of the key.
So, exactly as I assumed.
If no one called for her, then why did she go?
Hiyoko locked herself in her room because she was being overly cautious of the despair disease, you know? I don't think a person like that would leave their room just because someone called for them.
There's no way she got abducted?
Hiyoko locked the room she was staying in before she went out.
If she was forcibly taken from her room, there's no way she would have had time to lock it.
The killer could have locked her door, right? Just to hide the fact Hiyoko got abducted.
Maybe.
Then they couldn't have hidden her room key that deep in her kimono. They would have put it somewhere more obvious. Otherwise, there's no point in messing with the crime scene if nobody finds the key. At the time, you were the one who actually took out the key, right? Then something like that.
I won't lose.
Oh, she objected.
Are you saying my gut was wrong? This could be my first and last highlight of the day. Why won't you just let me shine already?
No, that's not the issue.
Shut up! Enough with your fancy talk. I'll shut you up right now.
Okay, we're battling then. Step ladder, smudge on the floor. Sonia's account, that's gotta be it.
Hiyoko was locked inside her room. She definitely got abducted or something. The killer forced their way into Hiyoko's room and forcibly abducted her. The girl is so small and weak looking. And that's why the killer targeted her.
I'm able to advance.
But Hiyoko's room was locked. The key was deep inside her kimono, remember? It's more likely that Hiyoko locked the door herself.
The killer was the one who locked the door. So what if the key was in her kimono? Maybe the killer just put it there later.
I'm able to advance more.
There's no reason for the killer to put the key in Hiyoko's kimono. The killer probably didn't realize she even had the key.
Hold on! Try remembering her kimono. There's only one reason her kimono would be that messed up. She fought the killer!
There we go.
Allow me to cut through those words! The reason Hiyoko's kimono was messed up was because she wasn't able to properly wear it.
Wear her kimono?
Yeah, it's also the reason why she decided to go out on her own.
Hiyoko seemed to be really struggling with wearing her kimono. I believe that was one of the reasons she locked herself in her room. That is why I informed her. I told her that there was a full-length mirror at the music venue, and I suggested that she use it.
Then, the reason her kimono was messed up wasn't because she fought the killer.
Yeah, she went to the venue on her own just to fix her messed up kimono.
I get it. I lost. Boil me, burn me, take off my clothes. Do whatever you want to me.
Okay.
Hajime, now's your chance. Make her admit defeat. Or better yet, make her do a little something something.
Oh no.
Then, the killer probably couldn't have assumed that Hiyoko would go to the music venue.
Though that may not apply to Sonia, since she provided Hiyoko with that information.
Though I knew she would go there, there is no way I could have predicted when she would arrive.
Don't go doubting Miss Sonia, you cretin. I'll put you and your hamsters 6 feet under.
Kazuichi, it seems you have quite the fashion sense. Do you want me to incinerate your clothes? Perhaps I could do that while you're wearing them.
Gundam, please stop! For his sake!
Huh? What do you mean, for my sake?
Of course. I've already overlooked no less than 10 opportunities to kill you.
Even if the killer couldn't predict it, why did Hiyoko get killed in the music venue?
The only thing I can think of is, it was an unfortunate coincidence.
She accidentally saw it.
Coincidence?
When she went to the venue by herself, she was probably just unlucky and walked in on the crime scene.
So yeah.
She was killed so
And
there
that's why it was
wouldn't
done
be
so
any loose
half-assed.
ends?
It probably happened when the killer was preparing to kill Ibuki.
Yep.
The killer most likely had already placed the hemp bag over her head, and without hesitation,
And then
Killed Hiyoko.
because the killer used that coincidence for their crime, it made this case even trickier.
That's the reason they imitated the movie to falsify the murder sequence.
And they did it
Which
half-assed.
means that low-down scoundrel didn't plan on committing imitation murders at first.
Then what was the killer actually planning to do?
Hang her.
They've been cunning this far. There's no way they'd kill Ibuki without a plan.
Do you have any ideas?
Damn, we don't know the most important part.
The killer's plan for the beginning, I'm pretty sure we're very, very close.
Hey Nagito, any ideas?
Hey, how long are you gonna stay quiet?
Oh, am I allowed to speak? Oh, I'm so happy I'm getting goosebumps. Everyone actually needs help from scum like me.
So what do you think?
I was thinking about it while I had my mouth shut. But now I'm finally able to come to a conclusion. Ibuki definitely didn't commit suicide.
Huh? What are you talking about?
She was manipulated to do it.
I thought there might be a possibility that she faked her death and tampered with the crime scene. But now I remember. There was blood on Ibuki's slippers.
We just talked about that earlier.
So if she faked her death and walked around the music venue tampering with the crime scene, there'd be bloody footprints left in various places throughout the venue. So that's why I think there's no way she faked her death. There's no way Ibuki committed suicide.
You know, we already finished talking about that a while ago.
Huh? Really? That's annoying. I guess I should just awkwardly laugh about it then.
Are you freaking kidding me? There's no limit to how useless you can be.
No, wait a minute. If Ibuki had blood on her feet, there'd be footprints all over the place if she kept walking around.
That's strange. That's very strange.
He's got a point.
Strange? What's strange?
I see, it's not something we've finished talking about. As he said, if she had blood on her feet, she would have left footprints. It's on the... It was cleaned up, quite clearly.
Crap!
Well, it was cleaned up. And why weren't there any footprints? Then why wasn't there blood on the step?
I can prove it with this!
That's a good question.
If Ibuki used the stepladder to hang herself, it's strange that there weren't any footprints on it.
Huh? There weren't?
Yeah, that stepladder was completely clean. No footprints or bloodstains at all.
Okay. No. Yep, the step ladder was completely clean. No footprints or bloodstains on it at all.
You noticed such a small detail! How amazing! This is truly the talent of a chosen ultimate!
Well, it's pretty obvious. You were obviously leading us to this. That's why you brought up the suicide topic after all this. Nagito Kamado, you're definitely someone I shouldn't underestimate.
But didn't you say you saw that video of Ibuki climbing the stepladder? Then I think there's no doubt that she really did climb it.
Then why wasn't there any blood on it?
Unless there was something funny about that video.
I see. So there was some kind of trick arranged in that video,
But that's something only Hajime would know, since he's the only one who saw that video.
It comes down to that. The mysterious sound incident is contained in that video. It's the hidden truth. It's all up to me.
Hajime, I leave it in your
Oh
hands.
god, damn it.
As long as I leave this to you, I won't tell you to do your best, but oh well. You should get started already.
Yeah, I'll definitely try.
If there was something clear in that video, I should have seen something strange as I watched it. And I'm the only one to clear it up. What was in that video? Wait, why isn't the back black, or is it just because the lines are green? Is the something different about the stepladder? There's no blood or anything.
Damn it!
Slippers, maybe?
Damn it!
There's no blood on the stepladders.
Here!
Okay.
That's right, I remember now. There was definitely something strange about that video.
Can you explain it to us?
What's strange is that stepladder I mentioned earlier.
It has no blood.
It's true that the steps of that stepladder weren't dirty, but on one side, there was a bloodstain, right on the left side of the stepladder. However, that contradicts the video I saw at the hospital.
It was also...
There weren't any bloodstains on the stepladder in the video. It was completely clean.
That is truly strange. If the video showed the moment of Ibuki's death, then Hiyoko should have already been dead by that point.
They made it look like...
Even so, the fact is the stepladder had blood on it at the actual crime scene.
Akane, you didn't do it, did you? Don't tell me they put another person... Oh my god, she did do it! That's why she couldn't use her robe. Because she got blood on it from killing Hiyoko. She She recorded the She recorded the video before it. It got blood on it. Then she got caught after making the video. She got caught by Hiyoko, hid her, then hung Ibuki. And that would make a lot of sense because she could have said for her alibi she was asleep the entire time. Okay, I think it's a Connie, based on what I've just said. Still though, she's the ultimate athletic. She could have been able to do it in such a short time as well. It's highly possible that's what actually happened.
But the stepladder in the video was completely bloodless.
And there's no way the video was recorded in advance. If that's the case, the only thing I can think of is...
It's possible those two stepladders were completely different.
Wait, are you saying there were 2 stepladders?
But where would you find another stepladder? There was only one stepladder in the music venue.
It must have been recorded somewhere else.
And one of the stepladders was somewhere other than the music venue.
What do you mean?
You're suggesting that the stepladder in the video isn't the only thing that's different. Am I right?
What about if it was recorded in the hospital?
That's amazing, Chiaki! All that gaming has given you incredible deduction skills. Is it okay to say that?
What are you two talking about?
The stepladder isn't the only one that's different, huh? Chiaki said that, but how would the destroyed one? Unless someone changed the signal to another camera. That it was recorded during the hospital. Oh, not another Hangman's Gambit. It was destroyed. Camera. See if I can get the first one. F. File, no. Film. Film. Is it another L maybe? No. Filg. Fin. Film. Filming. Alright, so G. Filming. Filming lens. That's just too much. Filming lens. Camera. What is it? Lens. I guess what did you? So let's go for. I feel like it's just controlling them. No. Logistical. God damn it. I don't like how it's always me, even though I've proved it's not me.
We will never give up!
Yeah, I can prove it. I just need a tiny bit more. So what I liked about the first one is that you can take damage from just letting them fly about. They need to rework Hangman's Gambit. So what was it? Film. Filming camera. Filming device. Filming. Filming lens. Filming. Filming. Now I need an eye. No, it wasn't that. Oh, it was a filming lodge. Is there two O's maybe? Maybe an A? No. Lodge. What could it be? It's not that. I don't think I've tried G before, haven't I? There we go, logical. Local. Friday. Lord. Vogue. Yeah, I'm thinking A now. No. Maybe an O. Logicational. There we go. God, this Hangman Gambit. Look, filming location. I didn't realize it could be. I thought it was objects.
Right. Besides the stepladder, the filming location must have been different too.
What do you mean?
Yep.
I mean, the video I saw was not filmed at the music venue. It was filmed somewhere else.
Yep.
But the hospital monitor's supposed to display footage captured by the music venue camera, you know?
Then, there's a possibility that the killer also tampered with the surveillance camera unit.
Here we go, logic dive. I like these. They should just... But I've only got 4 lives. Yeah, that's fine. I only need 1. What? I didn't even fall off then. Not easy. Wait. Okay, there's more options. The monitor, the camera. Let's go for both. I'm probably gonna die. Oh, okay, so it's green, a yellow. The camera, so they just messed with the camera. Guess that makes sense because it's just a display. Guess I need more than 1. God damn, this is out of my head. Oh, that is bullshit. I'm gonna have to go full on straight up left right. Oh, this is out of my head. Oh, this is giving me... oh my god, that actually felt me feel dizzy. I think they messed them with the one at the hospital. I think they just smashed up the music venue one. Okay. Yeah. The music venue then. Well, yeah, they didn't tamper with it. They fucking smashed it. You know, there's clearly a massive difference between tampering and smashing with something. Oh, you've got to be fucking kidding me. Okay, good. So that these are getting harder now. They can at least not make my head spin. Question 3. Music venue surveillance camera unit. I'm guessing they took it with them. Yup.
It's all coming together!
They took the camera and recorded it somewhere else. And I think it was in the hospital.
That's it. The killer just brought the camera from the music venue.
They smashed up another one then.
With it, they made me think it was a live feed from the venue, when it was actually from somewhere else.
Then only the monitor was left in the music venue?
Yes, at least when I first discovered Ibuki's body. But when Hyoko's body appeared, the killer probably put the camera back too.
That means you should have realized that from the start and made this easier on all of us.
He did discover the body. I doubt his attention was focused on the camera.
Well, that's true, but... in order to hide that the camera was missing, the killer did one more thing to the remaining monitor.
Fuck it.
I see!
They destroyed it.
The killer smashed the monitor to pieces, destroying it.
They definitely destroyed it.
As long as it was in pieces, you wouldn't be able to tell if the camera was actually there or not. My attention was so focused on the body that even I couldn't have noticed something like that.
And the moment Hajime left the music venue, the killer put back the camera they took.
And they destroyed it and left that in pieces as well.
It's easy to say it was filmed somewhere else, but the surveillance camera's connection wasn't that strong.
Despite Kazuichi's desperate repair efforts, it seems it could not transmit from the hospital to the motel.
The fact that it was able to connect between the hospital and the music venue is amazing enough.
It was filmed behind. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Behind. Curtains behind. Oh, look at that, I've already taken damage. Fuck. Right, so I know what this is. Curtain. I need a U. Come on, where's a U? Fuck off. If I really don't deal with them, I take damage. Now, it's not my spelling that's wrong, is it? Is it really done with an O? Concealment, maybe? I need an N. Conceal. B-L-E-D. God, I really fucking hate Hangman's Gambit. I think it's the worst thing about this movie.
We will never give up!
Concealed. 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 Rope. What, like, what's that bullshit? I need an O-N. Confined room? Confined room, maybe? Oh, no, I need an N. Confined. Now I just need to put fine. Confined. I need an I. Confined. Covered. There's no I. Fend. Conferred. 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 Conference room. Ah, in the hospital. I just need 2 O's. Conference room. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, conference room.
I got it! It's possible that it was filmed at the hospital's conference room.
Huh? A conference room?
They got someone to
But
help
the
them.
hospital and the music venue look completely different.
That's exactly why the killer did something to make those two places resemble each other.
Ah, my suspicion might be back onto, I still think it could be Akane, or it could maybe be the nurse, and she's actually working with him, Nagito. And Nagito's the one that made it look like he was about to hang himself.
There's no way the music venue look.
Which place resembled the other? Did the conference room look like the music venue?
What?
Damn it!
Yeah, I did it with the music.
There's no way the music venue.
Which place resembled? Did the conference room look like the, or did the music venue?
Or did they make some kind of set?
They might have tampered with the camp.
I still can't believe. Hajime, you're pretty stupid.
I'm not.
There's no way the music venue.
Which place resembled the other? Did the conference room look like the music venue? Or did the music venue look like the conference room?
This might be it. There we go.
That must be it!
I just didn't see a difference in the quotes, really.
What the killer did was make the music venue, the crime
That's pretty
scene,
stupid,
look
though.
like the conference room.
I got it right the first time.
They did that by using the black curtain hanging at the back of the stage.
From what I remember, there used to be a really flashy curtain. But after the incident,
It was black.
it somehow became a plain black curtain that didn't seem to be the right size.
That's right! It's so half-assed, just like Monami.
Oh yeah? Well, your face looks stupid.
That curtain was hung so the music venue would look like the conference room?
In actuality, even though the curtain in the conference room doesn't stand out, it is a black light-blocking curtain that's long enough to reach the floor.
I see. The conference room. Indeed, the floor of that room is
Wooden.
the same color as the music venue stage. So the killer chose the conference room because they realized the floor matched.
Matching floors, matching curtains. I guess it makes sense you'd mistake the two.
But that's not all. There should be something else the killer did to tamper with the evidence. Probably.
The candle.
I can prove it with this! You're referring to the candle in the music venue, right? In the video I saw, a candle was used for lighting. If you think about it, that's pretty strange. The music venue has good lighting, so there's no reason to even use candlelight.
But wouldn't they have done it to make it feel creepier?
That might have been another reason, but the main reason was probably to tamper with evidence. The lighting in the conference room and the music venue are so different.
It's those two.
They couldn't be used during filming. That's why the killer used a candle as film lighting instead.
Which means... Are you saying the candle in the music venue wasn't actually used?
That candle was likely placed there just to make me think it was the same candle that was used in the video.
With candlelight, you can't see things in that much detail. Maybe they were going for that effect. With that cheap-ass camera, it won't capture much in a dark area.
As long as this all matches up, it should be no problem to say this is decided.
Yep.
The video I saw wasn't filmed at the music venue. It was actually filmed at the hospital conference room.
If I'd found proof that evidence in the conference room was altered, we would have reached an answer sooner. But it appears the killer already covered that up, so I didn't find anything when I went there.
But there's no mistake. That's the only place within the connection range of the surveillance camera.
The motel would have been too far, and the interior design of the movie theater is too distinctive.
But this must be a surprising turn of events for Hajime. You never suspected that the video you saw in the hospital was being filmed in the conference room.
The incident isn't happening at the scene of a crime, it's occurring in the conference room.
I feel like I've been Bayside cops say that before. Well, I feel like I've heard Bayside cops say that before, but isn't it the other way around?
If Ibuki's hanging video was filmed at the hospital's conference room, Then was Ibuki killed at the conference room too?
No.
No, that's not possible. Right after Hajime saw that video, he discovered Ibuki's body at the music venue.
Wait. The Hyoko at the music venue. What? I think it was thingy.
Damn it!
I didn't have enough time to think about it. There was a fake somewhere that must have been. The Hyoko. I'm trying to think.
Crap!
Yep, that was it.
I see!
I needed time to read the
The person
question.
wearing the hint bag in that video wasn't Ibuki.
Of course, I thought that was already established.
It was the killer pretending to be Ibuki.
Oh, complex.
The killer put on a hospital gown, wore a hint bag on their head, and was only pretending to be the victim.
By that time, the real Ibuki must have already been killed.
The actual time of death must have been earlier. Probably around midnight or dawn to avoid witnesses.
If they took Ibuki from the music venue to the hospital to kill her, there's no way it happened during the day.
But why did the killer go to the trouble of making a fake video just so Hajime could go to the crime scene?
The reason the killer made a fake video. There's only one possibility I can think of. And if I examine that possibility thoroughly, then naturally the killer's identity will reveal itself.
Huh?
You fiend! Are you saying you already know who the killer
I've
is?
suspected it all along. Okay. Fuck it.
You're the only one!
Yep.
Nikon, you're the killer, aren't you?
What are you talking about?
You're the killer, aren't you?
Like I said, aren't you the killer who murdered Ibuki and Hyoko?
Killer? Huh? I'm the killer? What is this?
Hey, don't you think that's kinda impossible? A chick like her as the killer? She couldn't even kill a fly.
And
In
that's
fact,
the reason why
fly
we
would
probably
kill
died.
her first.
If you really think about it, she's got you in a trap. She makes you think that.
She's right! A clumsy slowpoke like me killing someone? That's completely out of the question!
But we're the only ones. Thanks to that video, we're the only ones who have the advantage of an alibi.
An alibi? Was that the killer's goal?
Now that you mention it, you guys brought that up earlier. Only Hajime and Mekon have an alibi.
It's just a coincidence!
But you're the only one who could have filmed that video in the hospital conference room. Is that also a coincidence? At that time, you said you were going to the on-call room, but you actually went to the conference room.
Yep.
That's when you put on a hospital gown that you prepared in advance, put the bag on your head, and began filming. By doing that, you made up a video that showed Ibuki trying to hang herself at the music venue. And showed that to me.
I think we're gonna get a character change in a minute.
Furthermore, I saw that video at the hospital lobby. If someone wants to go to the conference room from outside, they have to pass through the lobby.
So it's impossible that someone who wasn't already in the hospital went to the conference room to film.
Not only that, the others in the hospital, Akane and I, were both delirious from the despair disease.
So that must mean...
Please, wait a second! What are you saying? I'm the killer? That's impossible! There's no way I could kill someone!
It's not not literally impossible. Can't you give a better defense than that?
Just shows she can't even do that.
Hey, you sure this chick is really the
See,
killer?
look, now you're in her trap.
Wrong! It's totally wrong! It's not what you think!
Just like Akane said, it is really hard to tie it all together. I mean, Mikan is the killer?
I agree. It is truly difficult to believe someone could be killed by such a slow-witted woman.
That slow-witted remark is not necessary.
It's fine. I've been like this for a long time. In a tournament for social punching bags, I'd easily win first place with my soft reputation. Even I can't deny that. How many times do I have to tell you? It's impossible for me to kill someone. I'm serious. Very serious.
What do you say, Hajime?
Do you still believe this woman is the killer?
Do you hate me that much, Hajime?
Hey, Hajime!
Everyone's ganging up on me. Wow, you really do have them in a trap. Tricks aside, logic aside, is she really capable of doing something like this? Could it be I'm the one making a mistake? I have this much doubt about someone I spent so much time with.
Can you hold on a minute?
Huh?
Well, I know I'm being intrusive and all, and I mean, I have no place to say this. I missed all of the critical parts, and I doubt I have anything worth saying at an important time like this.
What are you saying?
But still, there's definitely no way I can overlook the killer this time.
Huh?
I thought it was suspicious all along, from the very beginning. Investigating with the suspect in mind creates a different result than investigating with no leads.
Hey, what are you trying to say?
Well, thanks to that, I was able to discover a truth that nobody else knows.
Oh?
What? Are you serious?
I've been so focused on everybody else this trial. But I guess now's a good time to say it.
Speak up.
Right?
You'd better not have kept quiet on purpose. This isn't a game, you know.
Actually, this is a game.
Please don't say such controversial statements.
Well, what do you know, Nagito?
Well, it's nothing big, really. Only a small, decisive clue that points to the killer.
Dang! That's a huge deal!
A decisive clue? Does something like that really exist?
Let's take a look, shall we? Regarding the rope Ibuki was dangling from. This rope was supplied by the supermarket, right? There weren't any ropes inside the music venue.
Again with the supermarket? That place is a hotspot for criminal goods.
If they got it at the supermarket, that means it was brand new, right?
What's wrong with that?
I want you to take a close look at this rope. And keep in mind that it's brand new. Near the middle of the rope, it's frayed, as if it was rubbed strongly. But why is it like this? The loop Ibuki used to hang herself is on one end of the rope, and the part of the rope that hung from the baton lighting is on the other end.
Hey, you're taking too long. What's wrong with the rope being frayed?
It means, well, from what I can infer, I think the rope was used like this.
Oh, to strangle someone.
The killer wrapped the rope around Ibuki's neck, pulled both ends at full strength, and strangled her. The center of the rope is frayed because that's the part they used to strangle Ibuki.
Hold on. I've been listening to you for a while, and it sounds like you knew about this rope clue all along. What exactly did you say to me during the investigation?
So this rope won't be much of a clue. Then I might as well search another place.
Not everyone cooperates at a class trial. Those who lie and conceal the truth will obviously be here too. Just like this case's killer. I was just copying them a little bit.
Huh?
Huh?
More importantly, what was all that about the rope? The killer strangled Ibuki. And then?
And then, I finished speaking. You didn't notice it? I thought I made the decisive clue very clear.
Go on then. The rope's old, hey? Rope used for hanging.
Ibuki didn't die from hanging. She was strangled to death.
That's basically the same thing.
Though hanging and strangling seem similar, they're very the scars they leave would look different too.
Scars? You mean the rope burn, right?
Ah.
But we believed it was from a hanging. Why would that be?
Did we fall for someone's lie?
The body at the crime scene was hanged, you know. Obviously, we'd assume it was a hanging.
The Monokuma file complicates this. It never specified hanging or strangulation.
Whoever misunderstood is to blame.
Yeah, which is you.
Ibuki didn't die from hanging. She was strangled to death.
That's basically the same.
Though hanging and strangling, the scars they leave would look different too.
Scars? You mean...
But we believed it was from a... Why would that be?
Did we fall for someone's lie?
The body at the crime scene was... Obviously, we'd assume it was a hanging.
The Monokuma file complicates. It never specified hanging.
Whoever misunderstood is to blame.
Ibuki's cause of death. Is that true? How do I prove this?
Ibuki didn't die from hanging. She was strangled to death.
That's basically the same thing.
Though hanging and strangling seem similar, they're very different. The scars they leave would look different too.
Scars? You mean the rope burn?
But we believed it was from a hanging. Why would that be?
Did we fall for someone's lie?
No. Yeah.
That must be it!
There we go.
So that's what happened. We've been falling for the killer's lie this whole time.
I knew. Kinda knew it was her all along. There's no doubt Ibuki's cause of death was being hanged by this rope, right? Yeah, she had no other external injuries, so there's no doubt she died from hanging herself. So Ibuki died by hanging herself.
You said Ibuki hanged herself, but that was a complete lie, wasn't it, Mikan?
That is... well...
You told us the wrong cause of death. You lied, didn't you?
You should have been able to tell the difference between hanging and strangling just by looking.
Yep.
You, Mikan, the ultimate nurse.
Please wait! First of all, I'm not a coroner, so I don't have the medical knowledge to identify injuries like that. That's why it's not my fault if I made a mistake.
You were right. And you have been a great help to us so far.
But even a drunk medical student can notice the difference between a hanging and strangulation.
I'm not taking her side or anything, but being clumsy and unskilled in this area could lead to a mistake.
He's totally right. I'm such a clumsy mess, and I got so careless.
Mikan nursed me till I got better. There's no way I'm gonna doubt her.
Don't you think her devotion to nursing is what helped her draw Ibuki to her death?
Huh?
And if not, her symptoms were still very serious and caused her to believe what anybody told her. It wouldn't surprise me if she willingly followed Mikan because she was nursing her.
So Mikan volunteered to nurse us? Because she was planning to do this all along?
That's a little... Aren't you like the thief who suspects everyone else of being thieves?
I'm not a criminal. Mikan is. I mean, she's a killer, you know.
You've got it all wrong. Please forgive me.
I'm sorry, but there's no way I can forgive you.
Ooh.
I just can't forgive this crime at all.
Oh, why so pissed you off about this crime so much?
Forgiveness or not, we still have not decided if Mikan is the killer.
I see. You guys are kind. Well, if that's the choice everyone makes, then the only thing I can do is back off, I guess. But is that really okay? Is that everyone's hope?
You're friggin' annoying! If you keep talking, I'm seriously gonna beat you up!
But I'm really not the killer.
that really true?
Stop it already! That's enough!
I can't stop!
Ooh.
I don't want to do this either! Of course I don't want to do this!
But, it could be all a lie.
But
Trick.
I need to do this!
You doubt your friends?
That's not it! I suspect them because I want to believe them!
What the hell does that mean?
I don't think belief and doubt are necessarily opposites.
Huh?
I do doubt her, but I still want to believe her. Belief lies at the heart of that conflict. 'Cause if there's no room for doubt, then there's no reason to believe, is there?
Yep.
Don't say deep stuff. I don't really get it.
If you want to believe in someone, you need to overcome doubt first.
So by
Belief
doubting them, you
without
can
doubt
overcome it.
is simply a lie.
Fine. Do whatever you want. I won't stop you anymore.
Huh? Is that all you can say? Ah, so in the end, you're all just a bunch of bullies, huh? Justifying your actions with fancy words. Making excuses for why it's not really your fault. Everyone always treats me like that. Always. It's all her fault. She's the one with the problem. I'm done with that. You hear me? I'm done!
Oh.
Hey, Mikan.
It's not fair. It's not fair.
Yep.
Not fair. 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 Why won't you forgive me? If you did something wrong, you'd forgive yourself right away. What did I do? Why won't anybody forgive me?
Is acting like this your strategy now? Well, this is annoying. Plus, to be honest, I've run out of ideas. How can we get you to admit it? That's the issue.
If we don't have any clues, why don't we have her give us some? I'm the same as Hajime. I don't want to doubt any of my friends. But still, the truth is one of us murdered two of our friends. That's why we gotta stick with this until the very end, so we can finally break these chains of despair.
Shikai.
Hey, Mikan, can I ask you one last thing? If you're not the killer, then who fabricated that video Hajime watched?
Like I said, it obviously wasn't me.
Can you prove it?
Prove it? Wait. Do you have any proof that I'm the one who fabricated that video? Ah, that's right! Show me your proof! Because you're just assuming the video was filmed at the conference room. Treating me like a killer based on an assumption. Just because I was at the hospital. That's totally crazy! I didn't do anything wrong! Why does everybody always hate me? Please, just forgive me already!
Is this broad really okay? She's emotionally unstable.
I'm not the killer! The video... I never filmed that video!
It seems she finally started arguing for us.
Huh?
But the only one who can find the hole in her argument is you, Hajime. So, I'm going to leave this to you once again.
I don't like the wave.
Why do you get to decide I'm the killer? Where's your please?
I know who has to do it. Wait, what's her account again?
I'm not...
Okay.
We can't think of anybody else other than you who could have filmed that video.
AC temperature.
Huh? Do you have any proof? Is the hemp bag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing suspicious? Or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
Ibuki and Mikan clearly have...
Is that really your proof? You could tell her body type under the hospital gown? Just from that video? Just from that camera angle? Just from that dim candlelight?
There's no way you'd be able to make out her body type! So please forgive me already!
Hajime, pay close attention and listen well. You're the only one who can point out the killer's mistake.
Okay.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody else other than you who could have filmed that video.
Huh? Do you have any proof? Is the hemp bag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing suspicious? Or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
Ibuki and Mikan clearly...
Is that really your... You could tell her body type under the hospital... Just from that camera and just from that dim candle...
There's no way you'd be able to make... So please forgive...
Hajime, you're the only one who can point out the killer's mistake.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody else other than you who could have filmed that video.
Huh? Do you have any proof? Is the hemp bag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing... Or could it be the hospital slippers she had?
No.
Damn it!
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody else other than you who could have filmed that video.
Huh? Do you have any... Is the hemp bag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing suspicious? Or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
Ibuki and Mikan clearly...
Is that really your... You could tell her body type under the hospital... Just from that camera angle?
No.
Damn it!
God damn it.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody else other than you who could have filmed that video.
Huh? Do you have any proof? Is the hemp bag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
Ibuki and Mikan clearly have...
Is that really your proof? You could tell her body type under the hospital gown?
No.
Damn it!
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody else who could have filmed that video.
Huh? Do you have any... Is the hemp bag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing suspicious? Or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
Ibuki and Mikan clearly have...
Is that really your... You could tell her body type under the hospital gown? Just from that video... Just from that camera angle? Just from that dim candlelight?
There's no way you'd be able to... So please for...
Hajime, you're the only one who can point out the killer's mistake.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody who could have filmed...
Huh? Do you have... Is the hemp bag on her head Is the hospital gown she was wearing suspicious? Or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
No. Her body
Ibuki
type.
and Mikan...
Is that really your... You could tell her body type under the hospital gown?
Female.
Just from that camera angle?
Oh, what? That was pretty good.
Damn it!
I noticed a mistake.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody who could have filmed that.
Huh? Do you have... Is the hemp bag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing suspicious?
There we go.
Or could it be the hospital...
Ibuki and Mikan...
Is that really... You could tell her body type under the hospital gown?
Damn it!
I'm not the killer!
Damn
We
it.
can't think of anybody who could have filmed that video.
Huh? Do you have any proof? Is the hemp bag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing suspicious? Or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
Ibuki and Mikan...
Is that really your proof? You could tell her body type under the hospital gown? Just from that there's no way you beat, so please forgive me already!
Hajime, pay close attention and listen well. You're the only one who can point out the killer's mistake.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody who could have filmed that.
Huh? Is the hemp bag on her head is the hospital gown she was wearing suspicious?
No. God damn it, that was my last guess.
Damn it!
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody who could have filmed that.
Huh? Do you have any proof? Is the hemp bag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing suspicious?
I'm gonna have to make a quick guess.
Or could it be the hospital slippers she had?
Ibuki and Mikan clearly...
Is that really your proof?
God damn it. Let's try again. This
We will
one's
never give
tricky.
up!
Rope used for hanging motel rooms. It can't be any of these.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody who could have filmed that.
Huh? Do you have any proof? Is the hemp bag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing suspicious? Or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
Ibuki and Mikan clearly have different body types.
Is that really your... You could tell her body type under the hospital gown? Just from that camera angle?
Fuck it. I have an idea.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody who could have filmed that.
Huh? Is the hemp bag on her head? Is the hospital gown she was wearing? Or could it be the hospital slippers she had?
No.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody who could have filmed that.
Huh? Is the hemp bag on? Is the hospital gown she was? Or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
Ibuki and Mikan...
Is that really your... You could tell her body type under the hospital just from that video? Just from that camera angle? Just from that dim candlelight? There's no way you'd be able to make out her body, so please forgive me!
Hajime, pay close. You're the only one who can point out the killer's mistake.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody else other than you who could have filmed that video.
Huh? Do you have any proof? Is the hemp bag on her head the proof?
It might be.
Is the hospital gown, or could it be the hospital?
Ibuki and Mikan...
Is
Could it
that
be the hair?
You could tell her body type just from that. There's no way you'd be so please for.
Hajime, you're the only one who can point out the killer's mistake.
I'm not the killer.
We can't think of anybody who could have filmed that.
Huh? Is the hemp bag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
Ibuki and Mikan...
Is that really your... You could tell her body type under the hospital gown? Just from that camera angle? Just from that dim candlelight? There's no way you'd be able to... So please for...
Hajime, you're the only one who can point out the killer's mistake.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody who could have filmed that.
Huh? Is the hemp bag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing, or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
Ibuki and Mikan...
Is that really... You could tell her body type under the hospital gown?
I don't know.
Damn it!
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody else other than you who could have filmed that video.
Huh? Do you have any proof? Is the hemp bag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing suspicious? Or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
Damn it!
I have no idea. This is the only one that's getting me.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody else who could have filmed that.
Huh? Do you have any proof? Is the hemp bag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing suspicious? Or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
Ibuki and Mikan
Is that really your... You could tell her body type under the hospital gown? Just from that video? Just from that camera? Just from that dim candle? There's no way you'd be able to make... So please,
Hajime, you're the only one who can point out the killer's mistake.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody else who could have filmed that.
Huh? Is the handbag on her head is the hospital gown she was wearing? Or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
Ibuki and Mikan...
Is that really your... You could tell her body type under the hospital gown?
No.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody who could have filmed that.
Huh? Is the handbag on her head is the hospital gown? Or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
Ibuki and Mikan...
Is that really... You could tell her body type just from that camera angle? Just from that dim candlelight?
Oh no, I'm just taking random shots. I'm dead now.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody who could have filmed that.
Yep.
This is my... We will never give up!
We will never give up. I'll find out eventually. What could it be? Blood on the soles, rope used for hanging, motel.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody else other than you who could have filmed that video.
Huh? Do you have any proof? Is the handbag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing suspicious? Or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
Ibuki and Mikan clearly have different body types.
Is that really your proof? You could tell her body type under the hospital gown?
It's that part.
Damn it!
I just need to figure out what.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody else who could have filmed that.
Huh? Is the handbag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown, or could it be the hospital?
Ibuki and Mikan...
Is that really? You could tell her body type under the hospital gown?
I'm
not the killer!
We can't think of anybody else who could have filmed that.
Huh? Do you have any proof? Is the handbag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing suspicious? Or could it be the hospital slip?
Ibuki and Mikan...
Is that really? You could tell her body type under the hospital gown?
Damn it!
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody who could have filmed that.
Huh? Is the handbag on her? Is the hospital gown? Or could it be the hospital slip?
Ibuki and Mikan...
Is that really? You could tell her body type under the hospital gown just from that camera angle? Just from that dim candlelight? There's no way you'd be able to make so please for...
Hajime, you're the only one who can point out the killer's mistake.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody who could have filmed that.
Huh?
Maybe I need to capture killer's
the
mistake
hospital
and
gown?
use
Or
it.
could it be the hospital?
Ibuki and Mikan...
That could
Is
be
that
it.
really? You could tell her body just from that dim. There's no way you'd be so please forget.
Hajime, pay close attention and listen. You're the only one who can point out the killer's mistake.
Oh, come on, you had to have my bar.
I'm not the killer!
There we go.
We can't think of anybody who could have
Wait,
filmed
what
that.
happened to it?
Do you have
Did it
any
reset?
proof? Is the handbag on her head the proof?
I need to check if it
Is the
resets.
hospital gown she was wearing
Need to know.
suspicious? Or could it be the hospital?
Ibuki and Mikan...
Is that really? You could tell her body just from that dim. There's no way you'd be so please for...
Hajime,
You're the only one who can point out the killer's mistake.
Now, will you reset? No, you won't.
We can't think of anybody who could have filmed that.
Huh? Is the handbag on? Is the hospital gown she was... Or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
Ibuki and Mikan clearly...
Is that really your... You could tell her body type under the hospital
No,
gown?
it might be the shoes.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody who could have filmed that.
Huh? Do you have any... Is the handbag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
Ibuki and Mikan...
Is that really? You could tell her body type under the hospital just from that camera angle, just from that dim candlelight. There's no way you'd be able to make out her. So please forgive me already.
Hajime, pay close attention and listen well. You're the only one who can point out the killer's mistake.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody who could have filmed that.
Huh? Is the handbag on her? Is the hospital gown she was wearing suspicious?
I'm gonna have to Google this in a minute. I don't want to do that.
Damn it!
Don't make me do it. I'm gonna have to do it.
Not the killer!
If I fail again, I'm gonna do it.
We can't think of anybody who could have filmed that.
Huh? Do you have any? Is the handbag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing suspicious? Or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
Ibuki and Mikan clearly...
Is that really your... You could tell her body type under the hospital gown just from that video, just from
blood.
that camera, just from that dim candlelight. There's no way you'd be able to make out her. So please,
Hajime, you're the only one who can point out the killer's mistake.
Into berserk mode. Calm down and think carefully. What is the evidence that Mikan was the one who filmed the video?
Damn it!
I'm not the killer!
Fuck it. I'll back in a sec.
We could just from that camera angle,
anyway.
just from that dim... There's no way you'd be so please.
Apparently I was right in copying the mistake. But I was shooting it at the wrong stuff. I probably would have eventually got it. But I'll show you what it is. Yes.
We will never give up!
So apparently I need that mistake quote. So I was writing, I was halfway there, just trying to collect the, but I was shooting at the wrong part, it was the angle.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody who could have filmed that.
Huh? Is the handbag on her head? Is the hospital gown she was wearing suspicious? Or could it be the hospital?
Ibuki and Mikan...
Is that really? You could tell her body just from that dim. There's no way you'd be so please, Hajime, you're the only one
Who can point out the killer's mistake.
There we go, take that.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody who could have filmed that.
Huh? Is the handbag on? Is the hospital gown? Or could it be the hospital?
Ibuki and Mikan...
Is that really? You could tell her body just from that camera angle.
There we go.
I'll shoot through that contradiction.
Hey, got it.
Mikan, you've committed a major mistake.
Mistake?
As I said before many times, I'm the only one who saw that video.
What's wrong with that?
But I never said anything about the camera angle. So how can you say anything about the camera angle as if you saw that video yourself?
Oh. She could have just been saying a general statement though.
The only reason Mikan knew the camera angle Hajime had seen is because you're the person who actually filmed that video. Is that right?
This is your just reward. The more desperately you argue, the deeper you dig yourself into a hole. You lied, didn't you?
Oh.
Are you serious? Is it true, Mikan? Did you kill Hiyoko and Ibuki?
Forgive me! Huh?
Huh?
Huh? Huh? Huh? Huh? Huh? Huh? Huh? Huh? Huh? I was wrong. Wrong. No, that's not it at all.
That's not it?
I mean, it's impossible.
She's going nuts.
You know that hemp bag Ibuki was wearing when she died? Try remembering the tote bag instead. Ding! I totally remember now.
What the heck's wrong with her? She's getting weirder by the minute.
That tote bag. Isn't it the same one that girl was wearing in the video?
How do you know so much about that video?
Who cares about that? More importantly, did you know that bag is a limited item that was sold at the movie theater?
It wasn't.
Hajime saw it too, didn't you? You remember the Usami decal on it, right? Whoopsie! Don't worry about it. I remember even if you don't. Ta-da! There's no mistake that that tote bag is a limited item. So don't you think it's impossible? Using one tote bag in both the conference room and the music venue at the same time? It's blatantly obvious that that's impossible. Don't you think? That's why that video isn't fabricated, and I'm not the killer. So you'll forgive me, right?
Taking your stubbornness this far.
Such despair.
Such despair.
Then you're gonna forgive me? I won't stop until you forgive me!
Well, not really. It's time for the third panic talk action. Please humour me while I take your ears one last time. Starting from this PTA, the reload and ammo features will be added. Yeah, okay, so the bullets are being added, okay. You should be able to find it beyond this point. You weep both for true despair. Well then, good luck and have fun.
I'll keep explaining it until you forgive me! That bag is a limit!
This check.
Has lost it for good.
Will you forgive me? You'll...
I gotta do something and make her admit it. Oh.
You still haven't forgiven me? I'll do anything you want. Please, draw on me. Do you understand? Why only me? Please, draw on me. Can you forgive me already? Forgive me! Forgive
Am I using my
me!
fever time?
Please, draw on me. Do you understand?
How do I reload
Forgive
again?
me already? I'll do anything you want. Can you forgive me already? I'll do anything you want. You're done for! Forgive me! Forgive me! Why only me?
Forgive you. You killed 2 people.
You still haven't forgiven me? I'll do anything you want.
They've also really fucked up this.
Please,
I'm just
draw
spamming
me.
left and right key now.
There's only one bag. It's impossible to use it in 2 places at the same time.
Oh, prize. Theatre prize bonus.
There's only one bag. It's impossible to use it in 2 places at the same time.
What?
Please, draw on me. Do you understand? Can you forgive me already? I'll do anything you want. There's only one bag. It's impossible to use it in 2 places at the same time.
Right.
Can you forgive me already? I'll do anything you want. You're done for!
Look how easy this is. I just need to do it until I get it right.
Forgive me! There's only one bag. It's impossible to use it in 2 places at...
This is
There we
the
go.
end.
Yep. Break.
Monokuma mentioned this earlier.
When you buy one bag, you get another one free. It's common practice to bait customers with bonus prizes.
Whoever bought that bag should have received another one as a bonus prize. Which means it's not impossible to use that bag in 2 separate places. So please, just stop making desperate excuses.
Why? Why can't you forgive me? Why?
It seems her desperate struggle is finally coming to an end.
Why does everybody always hate me? You should just forgive me already!
Mikon, it's already over. After I go over your crime from the beginning and show that you have no arguments left, please just admit it already. In the end, at least let me believe in you.
Oh, closing argument start. I think they fixed up this closing argument now, made it a bit better. They do it in parts. Oh, I see. So it wasn't here. So I rushed over. Oh. That's better. And they just simply destroyed it, right? Or they threw the camera there and then destroyed it. Let's see. So that's the same as that. Yep. Let's see, there's one more there. Yep. Last stock. Oh, this is actually a really short one as well. Nice. They put the glue on. They broke stuff up. Wow, this is a really easy one. And then they did the... Done.
Here's everything that happened in this case. The key to this incident is the surveillance camera video that only I saw. That's why I'm going to start with that to unravel the knots of this crime. When I went to the hospital with Mekon this morning, I noticed a specific thing in the lobby. The incoming signal light on the surveillance monitor was blinking ahead of the scheduled time.
Yep.
When I switched on the monitor, what appeared on screen was a person wearing a hospital gown and a bag on their head about to hang themselves right at that moment. That surveillance camera unit was designed for two-way communication with the hospital and the music venue. That's why I thought the signal originated from the music venue, so I immediately headed over there. But that was the killer's trap. In truth, that video was recorded in a different place. The killer brought the music venue camera the night before and made their preparations in advance. And then, they filmed that video in the hospital conference room.
Does this mean
Hajime
Hajime technically
they tried to make me
slept
think
with
the
a
incident
serial
was
killer?
happening in real time. When in fact, the crime had already been committed by that point. The person in the footage wearing the bag was actually the killer acting as a fake. I didn't know that, so I went to the music venue and found the hanged body wearing a bag on its head. Seeing the body before me, I panicked and rushed out of there to get the rest of you guys. But that was also part of the killer's trap. After cleaning the conference room, the killer was likely watching the music venue from outside. And, as if they were switching places with me, they went inside the music venue and began working on their last trick. First, the killer peeled off the wallpaper covering one of the stage pillars, revealing Hyoko's body. When I first arrived and saw the hanged body, I didn't notice anything strange about that pillar. I didn't expect it to be slightly larger from the wallpaper, or have Hyoko's body hidden inside. Next, the killer destroyed the surveillance camera that was used in the conference room. After destroying it, they mixed it with what was left of the surveillance monitor found at the crime scene. The surveillance camera the killer used was originally brought from the music venue, but when they brought it, they made sure to destroy its monitor beforehand. They wanted to hide the fact that the camera wasn't at the crime scene. In the end, the killer transformed the crime scene into a closed room. They broke one of the drumsticks from the storage room and placed it near the music venue's entrance. However, they did this to mislead us into believing that the music venue was locked from the inside. In actuality, the reason the music venue became a closed room was because of the glue. The killer sealed the door with glue and intentionally created a closed room that could be forced open. With that, the killer finished tampering with the crime scene and met up with Fuyuhiko and me. They helped us force open the music venue door, despite the fact that they personally sealed it. And they made us discover not just Ibuki's body, but Hyoko's suddenly present body as well. At the time, they pretended to be surprised, but inside, they were probably relieved that their plan worked out. Isn't that right, Mekon? This crime was orchestrated by you, wasn't it?
Yep.
Whoa! Now she's laughing?
It's been such a long time. This feeling, I know it well. Like the floor is collapsing, like the sky is falling down upon you. This feeling of despair!
Mekon, what has happened to you?
Whoa there! Before that, a moment of your time.
Hmm? What's Monokuma want? I think I did pretty well on this. Oh, I only got 5 points on that one, though. Can at least give me a B? Yeah. It was that last one that got me.
It seems your arguments have reached a conclusion, so let's proceed to our regularly scheduled voting time. Now then, please pull the lever in front of you and cast your vote. Who will be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? Let's go!
Oh, who is found guilty? Vote. Guilty. Trial. All her eyes.
Well now.
It may be obvious at this point.
Correct!
You got it right once again. That's like 3 in a row. That's right. The true identity of the horrifying blackened who killed 2 girls was Mikan Tatsumiki.
Damn
You
it.
gotta be shitting me. Are you saying Mikan, the one who nursed us back to health, was the one who killed them?
I won't forgive you.
Did you lie to us all along? Were you planning on killing them from the start while you were nursing them?
Hey!
Don't laugh, just say something. This is going nowhere.
What's going on?
Hey!
She's actually gone mental.
Well, that's obvious.
She's no longer the same person. She's no longer the Mikan Tatsumiki we know. Huh?
Hey,
Based on my predictions, she might have caught it too. She probably had the despair disease, which was motive for this case.
What?
To you, Mikan, do you say?
I
know because I was looking at Mikan for so long. She was the one taking care of me after all. Just kept drifting, but even so, when I did keep a glimpse of her, her expression was so devoid of hope that not even a single fragment of it remained. Do you say Mikan also had the despair disease? Then that means she was.
What?
Huh? Hajime, has something crossed your mind? My body's heavy. No, not just heavy, it's somewhat soft and really hot. That's right. Now that I think about it, that must have been a high fever just like what Ibuki and Akane had.
It cannot be.
Mikan was
Perhaps.
deserving of the name despair disease, losing all hope and harboring despair for all hope. She was likely overcome with despair.
See?
She still has the disease.
Jeez.
That Mikan standing before us is no longer the ultimate nurse. She's a completely different person, now that she's been infected by the despair disease.
Isn't that right?
She's a human who deserves to be called the ultimate despair. Ultimate despair? Is this what this disease was then? The disease called the ultimate despair, and that's what made everything so bad. The epidemic was a disease. That's the reason why I cannot forgive this. I mean, killing someone for the sake of despair instead of for the sake of hope.
Impossible.
There's no way I can forgive that.
Oh?
For the sake of despair? That's completely wrong.
Huh?
Wrong? Wrong? What's wrong?
What I did was for the sake of my beloved.
Oh?
Huh?
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 Who are you talking about? If they were only still alive, they'd be so happy. I know.
My beloved was the only one. That's right. The only one who never hated me.
Don't tell me.
They forgave my existence. They forgave me and accepted me. They gave me value.
Don't tell me it was the chef.
They loved me. I loved them with all my heart, and they returned it in full. This is my reciprocation.
I understand I've done something unforgivable, but you know that to just end all that is truly...
It's love.
What love is all about?
Hey.
I understand, what are you saying? You don't understand? Is anything to love? It is because you're also someone who isn't accepted by anyone. I feel sorry for you.
Well...
You understand that? Okay. Where you no longer care about anything. I'm just looking out through it. As long as I'm on the inside, no matter how much they special water give me.
How amazing!
So wait, who you on about? Nagito, is this really the despair disease you were talking about?
This is...
No, it seems that I was wrong. Not only is she affected by despair, it's right to say that this is all thanks to that disease. But because thanks to that disease, I was able to remember. Remember? What a wonderful symptom. You had the remembering disease.
But...
She remembered something and ended up like this.
Such despair.
Are you saying you were like this from the start? Were you like this before you even came to the island? Don't get so angry. Well, first of all, it was all your fault, you know? Because it's not like I'm entirely responsible for turning out like this. Because of many human relationships, I turned out like this. And it was also my beloved who created me that everyone can't forgive. And still accepts me.
Don't fuck
like I
with
said,
me!
who the fuck are you talking about? Was it once someone on the island? Or was it someone off the island? Are you saying this is McCann? She's the real McCann? Did you really remember? You ended up like this all because you remembered? And there's no way I could believe that. You're the real McCann. Oh, you still doubt me? I'll tell you all something nice. That you'll be worrying about.
You serious?
You know? No. I just remembered, that's all. How that horrifying Jose knows world ender. It's the Future Foundation. Future. That's right. That was Japanese word for future.
Hey.
Well, just what is the Future Foundation? What are they planning? To put it simply, they're trying to claim the world for themselves.
This is bad.
This isn't a comic book, you know. Brought us to this island. Isn't that right, mon ami? I knew it. There might have been a civil war within the company. Monami and I aren't members.
I am Monokuma!
My existence is entirely my own.
Hey.
Don't laugh. Then you already know, right? You know the true identity of the traitor hiding among us. Of course I know that. Let's see, the Future Foundation lucky that's hiding among you all is.
Oh?
Oh well, no one really cares about that now, do they?
Of course
Oh
not!
hell no. So there's no need to be so impatient. Probably when the countdown ends. Countdown? You even know about that?
Oh?
I don't know anything. Well, who cares about that, you know? From the bottom of my heart, I just don't care about anything or anything.
That is...
Is this really you? I won't believe it. There's no way I could believe you were like this all along. Because if that's true, then who's the person we're spending time with up to until now? The past. Past? That person, she didn't exist in the beginning. She's just my past self who lost her school memories. that thing a friend.
Oh?
That doesn't make me happy at all. It just fills me with despair. But not my present self. That applies to you all as well. Whatever memory it is, losing memories are.
Do you understand?
Like losing your personal identity. Don't you think? Losing our memories makes us shadows of the past. Don't you think?
Hey.
I don't know what you're trying to say, but in the end, it always leads back to that story. That story about the women's school lives.
Hey!
To so long, our memories were taken away.
Damn it!
We wouldn't be suffering this much. Well, why don't you just take your sweet time and remember you're at your own pace?
Oh?
Is it alright if you to start now?
Yes, indeed.
Punishment time? Damn it, why? Why does it have to end like this? This is too pointless. This is too much.
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment.
Ultimate nurse, Mikan Tatsumiki.
So it's over. It's really... Now I can go to my beloved, who always forgives me. I can finally see them. Please forgive me, the one who's going to die with the hope of finally seeing you.
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
Well, let's see a punishment then. Well. Bye bye, ouchies, ultimate nurse. Oh. What is he doing? Oh. He put her on a fist and rocket fist and blasted her off. Okay. He blasted her off into space. It's finished. Is it really finished? The killer who killed her both two bitches was Mikan Tatsumiki, and she's been executed. She apparently committed her crime because she was afflicted by the despair disease. So what? What's finished? Nobody wanted it to end this way.
Let me ask.
Who was that Mikan from earlier? Was that a true form? Is that itself a symptom of the disease?
Damn it!
Doesn't matter either way. She ended up like that just from remembering. And all along Mikan was never worth being a symbol of hope.
But...
even if her words were influenced by despair, the despair disease, if the disease turned her into that, she lost herself to a simple disease. She was definitely unworthy of being a symbol of hope.
Isn't that right?
So let's just move on. Come on, let's take all this despair and change it into hope.
Please wait!
That's impossible. I thought we were friends this whole time, but even so. Like a house of cards collapsing in an instant. In the end, our friend, we thought we knew, ended up showing us a completely different side of herself. Leaving behind only a malice towards us. Just move on or try to have a clear-cut attitude about these feelings. That's clearly impossible.
Damn it!
If she was the traitor too.
Wrong!
Too bad. That's not the case. Mikan was not the traitor.
Come on!
I'm not fine at all.
Hmm?
You wouldn't be this calm, right? Both pawns are the Future Foundation, so you guys are like two hearts beating as one.
You fiend.
I bet you Kai is the traitor.
Phew!
Who cares about who I am? More important, I'm tired. I didn't even have time to eat my black bean eye during the break.
Hey!
Your right eye is made out of black beans.
Hey, hey!
Hey,
You know, isn't it sad that life has its ups and downs? It's fun because downs come after ups. But if life was full of downs, wouldn't it get boring? I've prepared a special event. Special event? An old friend will be waiting there. Old friend?
Huh?
Could it be Mechamaru?
Hey!
We're safe after all. Safe? How should I say this? we're starting to see the light of hope. The light of hope. I am happy Nekamaru's tennis, but
So just
your
as
friends
I
just
thought.
died, so I honestly cannot be happy. Miss Sonia.
However,
So I'm still happy if Nekamaru is safe. I'm truly happy.
Fine.
You should honestly greet him with open arms. Perhaps those who have been taken from us would do the same thing to the alive. Hey, Supreme Overlord, of who gives a shit? That line doesn't suit you at all.
Silence.
I shall crush you into dust.
um,
Buki, Hiyoko, Mikan, can you hear us? If you're unhappy, I apologize. However, please forgive me for right now. They come out when he returns to us. Sonia, I'm sure your fiends are reaching them.
right?
Let's go greet Nekamaru. Let's make it grand, even for those who have died. Oh god. What the heck, dude? Do I still have after effects of that disease? I don't get like this at all.
Alright!
Let's think. Go. Yeah, you're right. Heard that. We were unable to contain our excitement as we jumped into the elevator.
Uh-oh.
That's what I had to say.
Unbelievable.
Did they learn to stick around when others have finished talking? What's that mean?
Hey!
Aren't you?
No way!
I was just trying to properly explain everything to them, including Nekamaru's body. Nekamaru's body? I bear no responsibility. Who did what? What did you do to Nekamaru?
What's this?
I just saved him, that's all. If I didn't do that, there's no way I could have saved someone who was about close to death. So it just couldn't be helped. He's done something to him.
All right!
Even though our minds were completely exhausted, strangely enough our bodies felt light. Toward the beach on the first island. Where is he?
Hey,
Nekamaru, show yourself.
Listen!
Hey, hey!
You know where to be found.
Damn it!
What happened? Were y'all looking for me?
Could it be?
That voice. He's like a robot now, isn't he?
Huh? What the?
Yo! I've kept you waiting. Hey,
He's a robot.
what's going on? Perhaps you don't remember my face since we haven't seen each other in a while. That's pretty sad, you know? That's too much!
Show me. Who are
who are
you?
you?
Huh?
What's
You
going on?
too? What's going on? If you're messing with me, I'll stop doing it to you.
Nekamaru?
Nekomaru? Haven't you
Noticed it yourself?
noticed it yourself?
What do you mean, noticed? Oh, you mean this body?
Oh. This is nothing.
This is nothing!
Show me the body. Oh.
The name's Mechamaru Nidai! I've been reborn in the rivers of hell!
What the hell? He's not Nekamaru, is he? How much time do we have left? 9 days left, eh? Trapped by the ocean sen end. What's he gonna say then? Oh, it's counting him as alive then.
Danganronpa.
Obtain present, you retain nurse apron. progressed smoothly. That's right. A common, ordinary progression would have just been just fine. Like, for example, the aliens are coming right after you defeat the final boss. Your dad frantically repairing. It would have been just fine if things had progressed like that. We were hoping for, but not this unreasonable turn of events.
The name's Mechamaru Nidai! I've been reborn in the rivers of hell!
Mechamaru? Is that you?
No matter how you look at it, I'm still me!
No matter how we look at it, this isn't you at all.
Sheesh!
Geez, you guys are strange. Lot. You still have such big wide eyes. I've actually fallen in love with the new metallic body of mine. Just by looking at your eyes. Then I am Form Team Manager. What happened? You look like you've seen a ghost or something.
You...
As he raised his stammering voice, Casey grabbed onto his head and...
I already know!
Come on, take it off. Ow, ow, ow. Stop it.
Hey, hey!
Why won't it come off? What? Are you freaking kidding me? Holy crap, it's not just for show.
Pure electricity!
Pure electricity, I've been reborn as pure electricity. If you're serious, Mechamaru,
Damn it.
that's my fault, right? You ended up getting a body like that, and it's all my fault.
Sorry.
I don't know how to apologize for this. A lot of stuff happens when you're alive.
You serious?
With 2 on beat, is this really your fault? More grey hairs.
Hey, hey!
Commenting on every little thing he does is a waste of time.
Hey.
You came back for us, right? I've resurrected from the depths of hell, shivering silver.
You...
It doesn't even compare to my eye patch. How can you accept that body?
Oh!
It's better just to be alive.
Huh?
Huh?
Hey, don't you agree? If I'm alive, I can still talk to you all. If I'm alive, I can still fight.
Show some spirit!
Happened to my body, not one bit.
Amazing!
It's brimming with hope. No matter how he makes sense of this, it's just too weird. This isn't a novel or a movie, this is reality. Can something that's unexplainable really be allowed to happen? No, instead, why did this happen? That's fine, right? Rhino definitely came back to it.
What's this?
Yeah!
Why is Mechamaru a robot?
Hey,
It was truly difficult to save Mechamaru from the jaws of death. They don't call me a psycho pop magician for nothing.
oh my goodness!
Enough, Jessica. Thanks to that, I'm getting stabbed by all these envious stares.
Hey, hey!
If you really are a robot, what's going on with your thought process? Is that a program too? Then what happened to the other stuff like your self-awareness and... That it doesn't matter. I am Mechamaru Niyada. Is he going to power through the rest of his life with this new ability? This means this technology is insane. I've never seen or heard anything like this before.
Phew!
Well, what the commoner considers advanced is not much of an advancement. This in colleges or laboratories, that's a huge misunderstanding. Place where you can pass on that talent.
Hey, hey!
That's you. Where you really are that amazing.
You.
What?
If you harm Monokuma, you're going to. You're quite the barbarian.
Disappear!
Don't tell me you just took another RPG bash.
Mechamaru!
This time didn't affect him.
That didn't faze me at all! Check it out! I'm intact! I have no injuries at all!
Wow.
Hey, hey!
He took a blast and doesn't even have a single scratch. He's seriously a real robot. Hey, can you let me disassemble you? Can you let me disassemble you and show me your inside?
No, thank you!
I don't die.
By the way,
Even though he's a robot now, if Mechamaru is killed, I'm still going to count that as murder, okay?
Of course.
Might kill someone instead. Well, with all that in mind, you guys enjoy the killing school trip together.
Let's get along!
Again, I hope we can all get along.
It's impossible.
It's going to be a while before I can mentally process this. Will Mechamaru ever return to his original form? So this is a burden for Mechamaru.
Sheesh!
I'm just a robot now, you know? I can't really see a difference.
Uh-huh.
Just consider this a little promotion. By making a robot one of the main characters, a genuine mystery is transformed into a sci-fi mystery. You're totally destroying the genres. As long as it's fun, it's totally fine. As I listened to Monokima's boisterous laugh, once again I was forced to accept. This island is not what the day-to-day world I know. It's a mad world where the strange is accepted as the normal. Causes, reasoning, circumstances, foreshadowing, these things don't apply at all. That's what it means to live in a mad world. Gather at a hotel restaurant like we always do. Man, the food today was awesome as usual. As always, you sure do eat a lot. I feel relaxed just by looking at you. It's impossible not to worry about it. What? This feels really strange. It's not something we can all get used to easily.
Hey, hey.
Anyway, what are you going to do now, Mechamaru? Mechamaru, you're used to him already. What am I going to do? But for food, do you need like oil?
Hey, hey.
Regular premium?
Well...
Since he said he's pure electricity, maybe he's a battery powered or something. I can't keep my eyes off them. I might not have much of an appetite.
Alright!
Are you malfunctioning? If you show me your insides, I can fix you up, you know. Well, so you're here too.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I should know my place and not speak out of turn when everyone gathered around like this. What happened yesterday? Thinking about that, and it won't get out of my head.
What?
Let me
It
tell
crossed my
you
mind as well, but
this.
it was based on who she phrased it. Now I can go to my beloved and be forgiven. I can finally see my beloved.
This, too, must be the
Speaking
will
to an
of
entity that does not
causality.
exist in this world, then there's nothing to worry about.
Fine.
If that fearsome organisation not in this world ender is truly responsible for our imprisonment,
If you flinch, you will die!
that's our top priority. The Future Foundation, That word future. Does it have anything to do with the ancient ruin? I mean, there's no doubt that the symbol on the door of the ancient ruin was the Japanese word for future. It might be better if we investigate it again later.
However,
Why would an organisation like that secretly plotting to end the world make us suffer like this? They took away several years' worth of memories of our lives at Hope's Peak Academy for reasons that are also unknown.
Impossible!
Believe in something so unrealistic.
Hey, hey!
We'll want to talk.
But... isn't that right?
Is that trader from Future Foundation that's hiding among us?
Hey,
I wonder who it is.
I won't be fooled!
Nagida's obviously the most suspicious though. Even a childish organisation raving about ending the world wouldn't accept someone like me.
Man.
That feeling well, right?
You think so?
Huh?
Then who do you think is the most suspicious?
It's obvious.
I nominate Hajime. Huh?
Well...
Isn't it normal to doubt the most unlikely candidate?
Hey,
Not just that, you're the only one here who still doesn't know who your ultimate talent you possess. Of ultimates, Hajime should be doubted right away.
Huh?
Then Hajime's the trade-off? Of course not, what are you even saying? even more suspicious of you now. This is obviously your fault.
Settle down.
Do you think fighting with ourselves like this is Monokuma's trap? That might be true, but... What do you mean?
Huh?
To remember this 10th episode, allow me to present you to my new function that I discovered last night.
Huh?
Is it flight? Can you fly?
No!
Practical and lovely. Let's go. Whoa. Behold. Mechamaru is crying.
No!
Oh, hardly, I'm not crying. My eyes dispense cola. And my left eye is dispensing rubious tea.
Behold! Are you kidding me?
What are you, a soda fountain?
Damn it.
I know we'll be here all day if we keep commenting on every little thing you do.
Don't fuck with me!
Thinking of giving you a function like that.
You're so evil.
That guy, he's definitely falling around other people's bodies. I too was modified by Monokuma, so I totally understand how Nakamura feels. It's surprising how quickly you'll get used to it.
I'll beat you up!
Stupid rabbit.
That's...
Violent thing to say to someone. You showing up at this time means...
Yippee-ki-yay!
You're correct. You can visit a new island, so please take this opportunity to go along with everyone. I ain't going, what a drag. Yeah?
Man.
Go to a new island. It's not like we're gonna find a new way to escape the place, right?
You are right.
So it might be best if we do not go. Yeah.
I renounce
I know
you!
you're planning theme, but we're not going to fall for it.
That's...
Lame!
Oh jeez, how annoying.
Unbelievable.
Just stay back and leave this to Rusty Rigora.
Hey!
It's like with allies or something. D.
Didn't I tell you to stay back?
Oh.
This technique, it's impossible to defend against it or evade it.
Well now,
That's not the only one.
special bleeding service!
Since you guys are thinking down dumps, I'll make you guys excited your nose will bleed. Treat that's completely different from before. Treat?
Nice!
I guess it's true, if you want to get a shut-in out of their room, carrots work the best.
Huh?
But it's okay if you do, just don't spray it on me.
Miracle!
Such as clues about the future foundation.
Huh?
Making a ship.
You serious?
News!
Also, your student profiles from your time at Hope's Peak Academy, huh?
So,
Take care.
Hey,
What
hey.
should we do?
You know,
Our only
right?
option is to go, obviously. We might be able to get home if we have ship parts.
Yep.
If there are any clues about future foundation, we need to make sure we see them.
Hajime.
Of course you're going, right? If you look at your student profile, you might be able to find out what your shining talent is. What suspicions? I don't think anyone here doubts me.
What?
Ah, I see. But there's a clue about my talent. I want to know what that is. Shows me the talent I possess.
I'm starting to get pumped up!
I...
Yeah, that should accompany you as well. Okay, let's end the video now. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.